here in our Seneca studio in Archer Park. The Bills continue to practice. When it's over, Mitch Morse, Bills center, scheduled to join us. In the meantime, Sunday's game featuring the legend of the game. The Bills do it every home game. And this week, it'll be former Bills quarterback Doug Flutie as the legend of the game. And we've got Doug Flutie live on the line with us right now. Doug, hello. John Murphy and Steve Tasker here in Buffalo. Thanks for coming on with us here today.
Oh, my pleasure. It's going to be fun to come on back up.
Have you been back since you left the Bills as a player?
I've been back for Jim Kelly's golf tournament, a couple of charity events, this, that, the other thing, but not to a game, not to the stadium and be a part of all that. Pretty fired up about it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you're one of the few guys who have left a kind of a legacy in both college football, obviously as a Heisman Trophy winner, and also as a pro player, leading a team like the Bills to the playoffs. That kind of, so you got to be kind of proud of the legacy that you did it at both levels, college and pro. So many guys can do it at one and not the other. That's kind of cool and you're still relevant in Notre Dame football broadcast and the broadcast industry. It's kind of cool for you to look back and see what a long journey it's been.
I'm proud of a lot of things that have happened over the years, no doubt about it. The Buffalo days were so much fun and leading to getting to the playoffs and having some success there. Just such a big part of it was a time period where when I came back to the Bills, it really validated my NFL career. I had a handful of good years there, got to a Pro Bowl, helped lead the team to the playoffs. So, you look back over the years and just so many things to be proud of, but it comes from just putting your head down and keep moving forward,
Doug, I read Vic Carucci did a great piece with you in the Buffalo News over the weekend, and I read it this morning, and I had to be reminded, you were like 35 years old when you came back to the Bills, right? You had basically a full career in the CFL. You were not a young player when you came back to Buffalo.
That was what was so frustrating. I came back and, we had the years we had there, and everybody looked at me as an athletic quarterback. And I'm thinking, geez, I'm 35 years old. The last 8 years I've been running around the fields up in Canada. I wish you could have seen that. That was being an athlete. But what amazed me was I figured I'd come back to the NFL and give it a shot and play a couple of years and be done. I wound up playing 8 more years and retiring at age 43. So, no regrets. I'm not going to complain about any of it. It was awesome. Guy Eric Mold's right there running in the end zone, got me to a Pro Bowl, and had a lot of fun in Buffalo.
Yeah, I was thinking and watching the highlights with you and hooking up with Eric Molds. Didn't you two play basketball together downtown Buffalo and kind of get that chemistry going even before you stepped on a football field?
Yeah, we did. And it wasn't intentional. We just were hanging out during workout times. And, you finish your routine over at the stadium and you're bored in the evening. So we'd go in and play some hoops. And I got a real feel for his pure athleticism on a basketball court. He probably could have been an NBA, but a lot of guys have the athletic ability to play at the next level, like as far as up and down the floor, their leaping ability, all that. He had all that plus a 3-point shot. I mean, he could have been a basketball player.
Yeah. I mean, I played with him as well late in my career when he was young, and it was just it was fun to watch. He had that ability, and I don't know what he was like on a hoops court, but early in his career, even as a rookie, he played with a kind of an attitude and edge. He was kind of a guy who he didn't care if a DB, wanted to slap him in the mouth because he would return the favor. It was really a nice, edgy, physical wide receiver, and really a true number one.
Oh, no doubt about it. He was a number one receiver. If he was one-on-one, the ball's going his way, put it up. Whether he's open or not, you're putting it up. He was one of those guys that just by body he had great hand strength and went up and caught the ball high, caught it in his hands and took it away from people. And, even if a guy had outside leverage and he's running the fade, he's going to fight through the guy's outside shoulder, get up the field, and you give him a chance. And he made a lot of plays for us. He creates the issues. You got to send someone over there to double him. Now all of a sudden tight end or a back or Andre Reed over on the other side is someone's going to be one-on-one because of what they have to worry about with Eric.
With Doug Flutie's coming back to Buffalo, a legend of the game this Sunday when the Bills take on the Baltimore Ravens. One question about your pre-Buffalo days, and I read this too and read about it a couple of times. Just, last week, you and your friends, your former teammates at Boston College celebrated the 35th anniversary of the Flutie touchdown pass to Gerard Phelan in the closing seconds, a big win over Miami. What a treat that must have been to go back there, and you recreated it on the field, huh?
First of all, it was 35 years, so we're old as dirt, right? I mean, it just amazes me that it's been 35 years. But we had about 30 guys come back, and just seeing everyone, the smiles on faces. And Gerard and I decide, we get asked, hey, can you guys go out and throw the ball and recreate it? And I'm like, well, all I got to do is throw the ball, and I still throw the ball a little bit, so that's not a big deal. You got to talk to Gerard. Gerard walks over to me. He goes, what's the upside of this thing? He's like, okay, what if I dropped it? So Gerard was a nervous wreck about it. His wife, Lisa, just was beside herself, did not want him to do it. She's like, you throw the ball off target, he's got to move. He's going to break a hip. He's going to bust a knee. He can't move. But we kept it at a distance where I could throw it. He caught the ball fine. And the funny part was the guys ran out of the back of the end zone as he caught it and mugged him like they did on the day of the game. And that surprised the daylights out of Gerard, too.
Yeah, it's amazing. You were always known during your playing days as an athletic quarterback. You mentioned it even when you came back from Canada at 35. You were a guy who had some wheels. The Bills are playing the Baltimore Ravens. You're going to be the legend of the game, and the Ravens come in with Lamar Jackson, and he's doing things that the NFL really has never seen. I mean, he's a singular talent. What are your impressions about the Ravens, their offense, the way they've run it, how far the league's evolved, where this kind of thing can happen?
Well, number one, I wish I were playing in the league today instead of 20 years ago. I love the spread stuff. I love the zone read stuff. All that type stuff are things we did in Canada using the quarterback in the true running game, not just as a quarterback draw or a scramble. And that's what Lamar brings. When you have a design quarterback run, number one, you can't really account. If you got a free safety in the middle field, you can't account for him. I'm sorry. But the zone read thing, you're not even blocking certain individuals. Your best defensive players don't have to be blocked. He'll just make a decision off them. And then you add in the fact, I mean, he is a dynamic runner. You see right there, jump cut, make people miss like a tailback, like the most elusive tailbacks that have ever played in the NFL. But he can throw the football. He's accurate down the field, has a strong arm. We saw that in college. He won the Heisman doing this stuff. And the fact that it's transitioned and that a coaching staff puts a system together to excel, to let him excel and focus on his talents so he can be comfortable is a lot to be said.
Doug, you spend so much time around college football now. Is that where the NFL game is going? Is this just is Lamar Jackson just a one-off, or is the whole game going to change, you think?
I think the whole game has moved in that direction. The Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's they're fewer and far between. The guys that are going to win week in and week out from the pot, they're going to get beat up. It all started with the zone blitzing thing. All of a sudden, the quarterback had to be able to move a little bit because sometimes they'd overload blitz you and the guy's not open. You can't just throw a hot. You turn around, someone's dropping underneath it. So the beginning of athletic quarterback started. Now with all the stuff that's going on in college and it's transitioned to, this is what these kids know. They don't know full field reads. They don't know design a universal route, read the coverage, and go to the right guy. They're used to being in the right pass play for the right coverage all the time because all the check with me at the line of scrimmage, and then the quarterback runs off of it.
Is it easier to play quarterback in the NFL now?
I think it's easier to play quarterback right away now than it used to be. I think it's easier to go in and have a handful of things that you can be successful at that are really tough to defend. But still, the showing hand is once people understand what you do well, they're going to start taking it away. Can you adjust and win doing the things that they believe are your shortcomings? Throwing the deep comebacks on the outside. Can that guy stand in the pocket and deliver a one-on-one route on the outside, or read? Can we confuse him with coverage and make him read the whole thing out? They're going to take away the quarterback runs eventually. But because you've got such a threat there, you're going to be one-on-one on the outside. Can you make those tight throws? Do the things that aren't quite as easy. Those are the guys that are going to last longer. Once teams adapt to you, can you adapt and win doing the things that you don't do well right now?
But Doug Flutie is coming back as a legend of the game this Sunday when the Bills take on the Baltimore Ravens. Doug, you mentioned you have not been back for a game in a while. I wonder what memories might go through your head when you walk down that tunnel. Were there games you would think about? Maybe the run into the end zone against the Jaguars, the game-winning touchdown score. What games stick out to you? What moments stick out?
Yeah, I think number one is that as a memory. That drive we put together, we had no timeouts. We had to go the length of the field and get it in the end zone there on a fourth down run. that's, I think, my number one memory at Bills Stadium. I think more than that, it's the locker room, it's the guys, it's the relationships you built in those years, and just the fond memories of. I'll tell you what, the Buffalo fans. Uncle Joe's Diner, right down the street from the stadium. I must have eaten 2 meals a day there, and people started they would leave things there at the diner for me to sign. People in Buffalo love the Bills. They would get out of their car at a stoplight, knock on the window just to say hi and wish you luck and get back in the car. To have a winner in Buffalo again, to have the team doing as well as they're doing, these fans deserve it, and that's one of my fondest memories of the fans in Buffalo, no doubt.
Well, they're also doing the big deal with you coming back. They're re-releasing the Flutie Flakes. They're coming out. Are you gonna come in and sign some cereal boxes and say hi to people? And it was kind of a cool thing back then, but to bring it back, it should give you some idea of how long people's memories are. Correct?
No doubt about it. When they said that, we were talking about doing a 20th anniversary box, and I'm like, this is a little overkill, guys. Enough, right? And then the opportunity to come up to Buffalo came up, and the whole timing of it started. They tried to hurry the box forward so that it'll time up with me coming back up, and the reaction has been fantastic. So, take a shot, have some fun, reminisce a little bit, and maybe make a little more money for the charity.
That's great. And you're going to be signing boxes, right? Empty boxes here at the stadium on Sunday?
Yeah. Right now, like I said, they were talking about doing a 20th anniversary box. So right now they have the boxes printed up. The cereal's not out and all that yet. So with a little bit of a rush, they put some flats together, and I'll just be signing the boxes.
Cool. All right.
Hey, Doug, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to talk with you again. We hope to see you here Sunday. Thanks very much.
All right, we'll see you there. Good to see you guys.
Okay,
thanks.
Doug Flutie coming back as a legend of the game for the Bills game this Sunday. Played with the Bills for a couple years, 20 years ago, 98 through 2000, coming back. Legend of the game as the Bills play the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday here in Orchard Park.